Hey, it's Ty with Credit Suite, and in this short video, we're going to talk about some of the things that you need to know and the steps to actually get your business started. We're going to talk a little bit more about how to start a business. So the first step in starting a business is to select what industry you actually want the business to be in, or more importantly, the product and service you want to sell. So you want to brainstorm and probably come up with multiple ideas that may work, and then choose something you really have a passion for, because running a business is going to take a lot of time. You've probably heard this before, to get in business to do something you're passionate about. But the reason that's a necessity is because when you're starting a business, especially, you are going to spend considerable amount of time getting your business off the ground. So you want to make sure you're doing something you love so it doesn't feel like work. The most successful businesses and profitable businesses solve a big problem. The bigger problem you can solve, the more valuable your business is going to be, the faster you can start making money with a business. So choose a business that solves a problem and relieves a people or a person or a business's pain. Okay, so I've once heard that it's easier to sell painkillers than it is to sell vitamins. That means that when you're able to relieve somebody's pain, then that gives you a real product or service that solves a huge problem. So focus on solving a big problem that removes somebody's pain. The bigger problem you solve, the more relief from pain you provide. So the more successful then you'll be, and the easier your company can start making money right away. Now, once you know what business you're going to be in, well, then next it's time to actually set up the company. So to do this, think of a name for your business that's catchy, that's possibly short, that's easy to spell, and that the domain is available for. And use GoDaddy to search for that domain. Is that domain available? And consider only going with the company that has a domain available. So look, you don't want to choose a company that already has your domain taken, because it's not scalable. As your business gets really big, people are going to go to somebody else's website to try to get your information, your products and your services. So don't choose a company's name if the domain isn't available. Try to make sure that you choose a creative customer name, company name, that the domain is available, so then that way you can get that domain. So for example, we are Credit Suite and we own creditsuite.com. If we couldn't get creditsuite.com, we wouldn't have chose that name. We would have went a different direction. So make sure the domain's available, or maybe even make sure it's available to buy an auction before you actually move forward with that company name. Okay, so also try and make sure that your name doesn't reflect that you're in a high risk industry. Okay, so there's a lot of high risk industries. You want to try to make sure that you are not in a high risk industry. So financial services, for example, is high risk. Anything that says credit or financial, the most general industry name you can choose, the better. So for example, elite business would be better than elite credit, because even the word credit in the name could be high risk. So there's a lot of information you can get online, even on our YouTube channel, about high risk industries that you will then be able to avoid. Once you know the domain is available, then go see if the company name is available in your state. So you can go to your Secretary of State, or just go to Google and Google Secretary of State with your state, the state that you're in, such as Secretary of State, Florida, to see if that name is available. You can easily search in every Secretary of State's website to see if that company name is available in your state. Now, if the name is available, well, then follow the steps in your Secretary of State website to set up a new entity. You'll need to choose for profit or nonprofit. You'll need to choose an entity type such as corporation, LLC, partnership, etc. Now, my advice is to choose a corporation or an LLC, because with the corporation and LLC, you are different from the actual business, and you can also separate liability, and it's easier for you to build the business when you aren't the business. You can't be sued. The business can be sued. You could build credit that you're not personally liable for because it's in the business name. There's a lot of benefits of going with an LLC or corporation and separating yourself from the business. So consider an LLC or an S corporation probably when you're just getting started. C corporations are amazing as you get bigger, but in your starting, just in the beginning, you probably want to consider an LLC or S corporation, or even talk to your accountant about which one might work better for you. And prices are going to vary for setting up an entity based on what state that you're in, but it only usually takes about 5 to 10 minutes to set up your new entity with your Secretary of State. Once you've done that, well, congratulations. You now officially own your own business. And the next step is to get your EIN number, which is how how the IRS recognizes your company. So you're obviously familiar with your Social Security number. Social Security number is how the IRS recognizes you as an individual. Well, in this country, the EIN number is how our government recognizes your business. And the EIN number is completely free to get, although there's a lot of companies out there that will charge you for it. Just go to irs.gov to get your free EIN number. Now, your final step of setting up your new business is to set up your business bank account the right way to ensure it's easy to get credit and loans in the future. So your company name that you just set up with your Secretary of State needs to be exactly the same as what you're using to set up your bank account. Your company address also should be the same on your bank account as you use with the Secretary of State. And make sure your EIN number is also the same when you're setting up your bank account. Usually, you're going to go set up your bank account with your articles of incorporation from your Secretary of State and with your EIN number from the IRS. So you'll have that information, give it to them, and they'll typically get it set up the right way. Just make sure that it is set up the right way. So those are the steps to really set up your business initially, from choosing a name to making sure the domain's available to actually setting up your actual entity itself, all the way through to getting your EIN number and setting up your bank account. Now, keep in mind, this video was intended to be short, kind of a short summary of some of the basic things that you actually need to know. But we've got much longer training videos on our website that even teach you how to market, everything you need to know to really get your business up and generating revenues and profits. So if you found this information helpful, first, please like this video, and then make sure you click to subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/Credit Suite for our 30 to 60 minute coaching sessions. And those videos map out a lot of types of financing you can secure, how to get approved for loans and credit lines, how to set up a business, how to market a business, how to grow the business, even how to get credit for your EIN number that's not linked to your social, even as a startup. So a lot of videos on how you can get financing to fund your new business as well. So please like and subscribe, and I look forward to seeing you on our next video.